Good morning, guys. Welcome back. I know it's been a while, but as you can see, the situation in the world has not gotten any better with whatever's going on in Afghanistan and all the lives being destroyed and taken, all the lives that have been destroyed and taken over the last 20 years that we've been occupying that country, to the lives being destroyed here at home. The war on drugs, the injustice system, to the bigotry and all the social issues that we deal with on a daily basis. It's not going to get any better. What Scripture tells us is that it's only going to get worse. Now more than ever, it's critical that we leave Babylon. As children of God, now more than ever, it's critical that you are different. Okay? And with a dare behind it, like Daniel. If you've been keeping Torah for any length of time now, you're already noticing the physical benefits. You're already noticing the increase in stamina, performance. You're losing weight. You're sleeping well. You're digesting well. You're adjusting well. I guarantee you haven't caught COVID if you've been keeping Torah. I dare say you have not probably even been sick. If you're dealing with any type of health issues, part of exiting Babylon is getting off of the pharmakia. If you're stuck in a pharmaceutical dependency or addiction right now, begin to seek alternative forms of medicine. Perhaps something herbal, something natural. Because these things are going to matter. Scripture tells us that by thy sorceries, by thy pharmakia, were all the nations deceived. And now here we are in 2021, and I see this played out on a worldwide scale. I see the entire world, all nations, deceived by pharmakia. One pill begets another. What used to be treatments are now lifetime sentences. Once you get stuck into the pharmaceutical ring, you will never get out. Ever. While it slowly destroys you. And they openly confess to you that they are in fact practicing medicine. They're in fact curing nothing, healing nothing, only treating, only pushing back symptoms, never addressing core issues, always neglecting the spiritual aspects. As we begin exiting Babylon, we're hip to the 501c3 game. Okay? There is no ministry that's a 501c3. Nonprofit organization and ministry have nothing to do with one another. It's a tax-exempt status that allows an entity to glean from the masses, to establish themselves in a community with the pretense of spreading the gospel. But for those of you believers who are still involved in a 501c3 ministry, you're already experiencing the backlash and frustration as you, with a genuine heart, want to help people, want to reach people, want to love your neighbor, but you're finding that that that's not the sentiment among your peers, is it? You're finding resistance at every level. You need to come out of Babylon. You need to exit. Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers in her sins, and that you receive not of her plagues. Those who reject the truth in favor of pharmakia will regret this decision. Plain and simple. So don't be that guy. Exit now. Biblical cosmology, as I said from day one, goes far beyond the shape and nature of the world we live in. That is, in fact, pre-biblical cosmology, the shape and nature of the world we live in. Look, if you can't get past that, you'll never get to anything, because that alone is the key to unlocking the understanding of the true prophetic narrative. The one that's revealed in Scripture, that indicates that the heavens and the earth were before ordained of old, and the earth standing in and out of the water. Peter even goes back into a geography lesson, talking about how even in his day they were willfully ignorant of these things. If you don't understand biblical cosmology yet, you need to continue to do some research. But what I want to plant the seed of understanding with you right now is that this is the key. This is where all the sciences meet, and you find out which ones are real and which ones are a joke. This is where all the rabbit holes meet, and you find out which ones are real and which ones are a joke. If you're not reading Enoch, if you're not studying your scriptures, the prophets, you're missing out, because we're watching things play out in real time right now. In real time. We're reestablishing the prophetic narrative. And the next thing I'm going to address is the rapture moving forward, because this is a real issue. The rapture is probably the most critical teaching of dispensational theology because of all the implications. And we're going to get into that in the next video. But we're going to talk about why and how. And I'm going to break it down for you simply. The words themselves. We keep Torah because in Torah we're able to decipher the difference between what is clean and what is unclean. Through Torah, we're able to decipher what is common and what is holy. And as we begin to decipher these things and submit to them, we find that these are not laws at all. These are instructions, man. This is the manual for success. And you find that it is even written, if you do this, I will do this. And if you dare to take God at his word, you too will see. I've spent over half my life as a criminal, lost 5.5 years in the penitentiary. It changed me. So much so that someone would ask me, what's the deal with you? I have a very close friend who's not a believer. Lost their faith some time ago. Raised in the church. But quickly was turned off by the hypocrisy. Was quickly, because my friend is very intelligent, quickly saw that whatever it is that they're teaching and whatever it is that you know, this is not jiving. Quickly saw that, lost their faith, tossed the whole thing. I get it. I understand. Now more than ever, it's critical that you are different. You must learn to decipher and submit to what is clean and what is unclean, what is common and what is holy. And you will blink and find your feet planted firmly on a rock that cannot be moved. You will find that, yea, though you walk through the valley of the shadow of death, that you fear no evil. You'll find that he anoints your head with oil and your cup runs over. And he will prepare a table before you in the presence of your enemies. Just think about that. Let that sink in. That he would make a banquet for you, that you could sit and eat in the presence of those who hate you. These are bold claims and bold promises, but I'm here to tell you that they're true. We're reminded in the New Testament that even though I may speak with the tongue of men and angels, and I may, have so much understanding that I know all mysteries and all knowledge and all this and that, I could be the expert of everything. But if I don't have love, he says, what am I? I'm like a sounding brass or a clanging cymbal. What I am is annoying. What I am is useless. Love is something you do, man. Y'all know this. I mean, we've heard this since we were kids, man. Love is a verb. We know this. And in our Greek studies, we've come to understand that there are different kinds of love, right? We have the love, the eros, right, which is your erotic, sensual type of love. Then there's phileo, the brotherly, camaraderie, friendship type of love. And then there's the agape, the perfect, self-sacrificing love, the love that yields and submits to the other, that doesn't have to have its way, that's willing to submit and yield. The kind of love that we all want, but nobody seems to have. You got to give it. You got to be it. You got to show it. You have to forgive. This right here is one of the first things that's going to get you noticed as different, is when you forgive. Because nobody does that. Nothing is fair in the world. Nothing's right, and nobody forgives, right? But you can. You can. And it only takes you to change your world. These are cliches, but come on. It is what it is. Don't be weak. You got to love. You got to be patient. You have to forgive. Because I know a lot of you, some of you are struggling with the frustration of as you're talking to your family, your friends, your loved ones, and you're trying to convey this information to them, and they're not seeing it, and they're not hearing it. Understand, they don't care about your books. They're not going to read them. They don't want to see your charts. They don't care about your memes. But what they can see is you. What they can see is you. So it's critical that you are different, that you set the example, so much so that they would be baffled and have to ask you, what is up with you? Like, how are you? Why are you, That's what should be going on in your life. As you're discovering new things in your search for truth, you need to be getting out and experiencing them. You need to go and get you a laser thermometer, and you need to start checking the moon temperatures, in the full moon. All right. You need to get magnets and slinkies, and you need to start playing with these things. You need to start to understand how these things work, because they're very simple and a child can do this. But it's only through the love, patience, and forgiveness that you display in your own life that you will ever be able to share any of this with anybody, because they don't care, bro. People are busy. They don't see the importance. They don't feel the sense of urgency that you do. Moving forward, like I said, we're going to get into the rapture, and we're going to look at that line by line. We're going to be going through Matthew chapter 13, Matthew chapter 24. We're going to be looking at the Old Testament, the New Testament, and the red letters. And we're going to take a look at that and see what's going on, because the Feast of Trumpets is coming up. It's the first day of the 7th month, which on your Gregorian calendar is going to fall on October 7th ish. But like I said before, we don't know. It's about spotting the new moon, not setting a date. It's a unique feast of all. So we're going to start taking a look at that and its connection to the idiom that our Messiah used in Matthew chapter 24. So this is going to get interesting. And for those of you that are obviously interested, it'll be eye-opening, I'm sure. So thanks for watching. I hope you guys are getting something out of this, and I'll see you soon. Just saying.